Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I've spent the last 2+ decades of my life. Continue on, we're in Atwater. Just like I told you in the prior episode that James and Tigo's a Vietnamese dude, James Guangmanian, they just got transferred from Coleman. Now these two individuals on their jacket, Tigo, later I was in the shoe with him, he has on his jacket assaultive. Like they placed it on his door because he's got a lot of assault and stabbings and a lot of stuff on his jacket. And he's a pretty dangerous individual. You know, same thing with James. So on this particular day, I was invited to go drink with them. But I declined because, like I said, I don't drink with everybody and anybody. And for me to be able to prevent certain shit from happening, I've learned to recognize things for what they are. So what happened, they're in 6A, James and Joe. Now, prior to this, Joe, he's been talking about he wanted to go to ADX, Supermax, where his cousin, Rudy Zablon is at. And, them two, back in the days, they caught a case. They killed somebody in the cell, strung up their guts, painted the room red. But he's been down almost 30 years already. At this time that I met him, over 20-something years. And he was just tired of it. I've heard of him, through the course of our conversations leading up to this incident, mention that, yeah, he just want to go to ADX, visit his cousin, but maybe he want to kill a cop to get there. He has a lot of people in our situation, we build up a lot of animosity towards the guards, towards our captors. And then the guards don't help themselves with, their blatant disrespect, their attitudes, and their, I'm better than you attitude. There's a lot of things that plays in it, but not all guards are messed up. And I just want to say that because, like, the guards that caught the shit end of this incident, from all account, he wasn't a bad dude. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. When somebody wakes up and they feel some type of way about somebody or something, they're not taking into perspective that, oh, this person probably don't deserve it. They're just moving on an emotion. So I guess what had happened was they're drinking. They're drinking wine, regular wine that you make from orange juice and soda and sugar. And they're drinking White Lightning. It's the one where you cook the shine out and it comes out clear like water. Like the moonshine, the bootleggers that you might have watched on National Geographic or whatever. But we're able to do those that in there. We're able to distill our wine and turn it into pure alcohol. And it affects you just as much as alcohol affects you out here. But I guess what had happened was they're drinking and the CO came by the cell and said something. I don't know exactly what was said, but James perceived it as like a racist comment. Maybe because he was cool, the CO that I'm talking about was cool with certain groups of races and allowed them to get away with certain things. But when it came to him, he just kind of like had an attitude towards the homie. So James tells him, what the fuck you want? He's like, what? She was like, what? This motherfucker, I'll kill you. And then she was like, what you say? And he said, I'll kill you. And they both got up, pulled out their knives, and ran towards the CO. The CO ran. He ran out of their room, or wherever he was standing at by their room, ran down the tier, and he was trying to get down the stairs. They were on the second tier. He ran down the stairs, and they say he tripped and fell on the last step. So when he tripped and fall, Jamie and Joe's got on top of him. and started stabbing him. One of them was holding him down while the other one was hitting him. And people in the unit was saying that, dude's like, man, the CEO was like, man, stop, you're gonna kill me, And he's like, man, what the fuck you think I'm trying to do? And he just kept stabbing him, sitting on top of him, stabbing him while the other homie held him down. Now, they had another CO in that block that was working with the one that lost his life. And you know what that CO did? Every single time, they do the same thing. They run and leave their fellow staff member behind to get butchered. But when you're cuffed up, when you're shackled, when you're belly chained and black box, these motherfuckers are tough. They're like He-Man and Arnold Schwarzenegger and all them other characters in the movies. But that's why some people feel like, commented like, you're home now. You should let some of that stuff go. But I explain to you when I tell the story, share these stories with you, I'm reliving it. So when I tell you about these cowards, I'm not saying it because I have animosity towards them, because I've been under their freaking heel for the last 2+ decades. I'm telling you they're cowards because that's what the fuck they are. Here's your chance. I stood on the line and got stabbed up with my homie. You over here, that's your co-worker. You see there's 2 dudes on top of him stabbing him to death, and you run. But any other time, you're over there talking shit, taking shit out of people's cell, confiscating people's property. Just like the stuff that happened in Beaumont when the SAC homie and the TS took the keys from the police, ended up stabbing him up. The other one ran and left the other one behind to get killed. He didn't get killed, but he lost his eyes. He got butchered. The CO in Beaumont got butchered in that incident. But it didn't have to be that way. If these dudes would freaking have some type of sense of pride, some sense of loyalty, some sense of honor within them. But they don't. But they want to look at us like we're less than them. These people don't understand anything about them honor and loyalty. It's a paycheck. But they don't But if it's a paycheck, then be it. Don't come over here acting like you freaking tough and all the extra shit and then running. So Jamie Joes, they got on top. I'm sorry. I kind of, but Jamie Joes got on top of him and started stabbing him up and killed him. I didn't know anything about the incident until I heard it on NPR. Until my homie woke me up and told me to go to NPR. Then when we came off of lockdown months later, I got the rest of the story. But on NPR, they were telling me that the CO that we're talking about, he did 2 tours in Iraq when it was hot. He went down to Iraq, 2 tours, fought the Taliban, fought all them people, whatever's going on down there, and survived it. Came home and got a cushion job that he thought was going to be a cushion job, to work as a security guard in the penitentiary. He survived 2 tours in Iraq and got killed in the penitentiary. Think about that. Think about how dangerous the environment that we are in. You have a trained soldier that was able to survive 2 tours in Iraq, but lost his life being a guard in a penitentiary. I tell you stories about guards being killed or whatever. I'm not happy about that. I don't want to glorify that or find any enjoyment in that, because at the end of the day, that man was somebody's father. That man was somebody's son. That man was somebody's brother. And it's not just him that's affected. There's other people around. But I say that and mean that for everybody, whether it's a staff member, CO, or inmate or convict. None of these lives can be valued more than the other. I'm not in a place to ever say that your life is worth more than mine or my life is worth more than yours. Through the course of these episodes, man, it's always an emphasis on the environment and the misery that is there. We're not watching cable TV and playing video games. We're behind enemy lines, literally. And that goes for the staff. That goes for us. And if you don't know how to conduct yourself, you're going to be a body. And a lot of times, it doesn't even have anything to do with how you behave and how you act. It's just we're in a fucking box full of crazies, and you never know when someone's going to snap or when someone's going to have enough. And you just mind your P and Q because, prevent defense. You just try not to be the one, But, yeah. Like I said, we have standards, whether you agree with us or not. And when I speak, somebody has some issue, they sent me a long comment about, being abusive to their kid and beating their wives or whatever. Listen, I don't speak for everybody. I speak for me and mine, the people around me. And for us, we don't violate kids. We don't violate women. We don't tell on people. Welcome to the USP.